Hi, my name is Kayla Segovia, and today we are going to look a little bit further into LSD. LSD is a synthetic chemical that is made from a substance found in ergot. Ergot is a type of fungus that infects rye. LSD also belongs to a group known as psychedelics. When LSD users ingest small amounts of it, it can cause them to have mild changes in perception, mood, and thought. However, when a user ingests larger doses, it may produce visual hallucinations and distortions of space and time. So, LSD users really have a choice to make here. It really just depends on the kind of experience that they're looking for. One of the things that I find very interesting about LSD is the fact that it makes you hallucinate. So I chose to investigate a little bit further as to why that is. And I found a couple of things that cause this. One of them being that LSD mimics a chemical messenger in the brain called serotonin. And there's also a receptor, a serotonin receptor named 5-HT2A. And LSD specifically targets this receptor and causes our senses to be overstimulated, which is what triggers the hallucinations. A small portion of LSD users can also experience something called synesthesia, which causes your senses to be mixed up and you start smelling colors and tasting sounds. An interesting tidbit about LSD is the fact that the CIA carried out tests between 1953 and 1954 because they thought that it could be a potential truth drug. However, the agency eventually ditched the study. So, this would be something very interesting to study. However, we won't know until we start carrying out more studies on this claim. So, why is LSD used? And there are really four common things that people say as to why they use LSD. One of them being spiritual journey. And this is because LSD induces a state of detachment from reality. And this allows people to have visions. And some perceive this as a spiritual awakening. Other LSD users cite stress and or anxiety as another reason to use LSD. Some also use LSD simply because it's fun for them, and it is a common drug to find at raves as well. There is also the aspect of social use, and many claim that LSD helps with entering a more enlightened state or of being or thinking. So, who exactly is using LSD? Over here, we have a graph that depicts the perceived great risk from LSD use among people ages 12 or older by age group. And so you have two groups, the ones that tried LSD once or twice, and the ones that are using LSD once or twice a week. We can see that the age groups here and the percent perceived great risk is a little bit more consistent than it is on those that only tried LSD once or twice. However, the biggest population using LSD is still 26 or older when comparing and contrasting these two different groups. So, is LSD bad or good? And really, it's up to the viewer. There is a lot of information out there on LSD, and people feel differently about it. And really, I don't even know the answer to this myself. I do think that there is a lot of research that still needs to be conducted in order for us to arrive to a conclusion. There are a lot of claims of LSD being um, a sort of miracle drug, and also a lot of claims of LSD being doom of society. So I don't think that it's either extreme. But again, I think there is a sort of urgent need for us to further investigate these kinds of drugs so that we can properly educate the public about it. Here are my resources, and I thank you very much for taking your time to watch my presentation.